Dear students, welcome to the session on women's writing. Today we will discuss the poem Lot's Wife by the Russian poet Anna Akhmatova. Anna Akhmatova is the pen name of Anna Andreevna Gorenko. This Russian poet of the 20th century was shortlisted more than once for the Nobel Prize. This poem, Lot's Wife, was translated into English by Richard Wilbur. I hope you have seen the video that I have uploaded. This poem is about Lot and his wife mainly. They lived in the city of Sodom, and the city of Sodom and Gomorrah are synonymous with sin. God was angry towards the people at Sodom because they were disobedient, they were so arrogant and sinful, egoistic. Therefore, he decided to demolish the entire city of Sodom by sending his wrath upon them. Abraham, who was a relative of Lot, came to know about God's decision to destroy the city of Sodom. Lot was Abraham's nephew. Abraham pleaded to God to save Lot and his family because they were good indeed. God said, "If there are 50 good people in Sodom, I would spare the place. Or at least 20 good people, I won't do anything." Abraham was so anxious about the safety of Lot, and he requested to spare Lot and family. God knew very well that Lot was an obedient man, a good-natured man. So what he did is, he had sent 2 of his angels in the guise of 2 men to Lot's house. And there, Lot welcomed them with utmost hospitality and served them good food and was kind to those guests. These angels were also happy and they were impressed by the behavior of Lot. While these strangers were there inside Lot's family, many of the people at the city of Sodom approached Lot and asked who the strangers were, and they were annoyed at the visit of those strangers. And Lot protected his guests in all possible ways. And the angels were convinced about Lot's goodness and obedience to God, and they decided to save Lot's family. So they just asked Lot, his wife, and 2 daughters to pack up everything that they wanted, and they were asked to walk fast, move from the city of Sodom to a safer place. While they were led to a distant place, the only command that the angels gave them was this: you should not turn back and look at the city of Sodom. You may hear strange noises, but you should resist the temptation to turn. If you do that, then you will face consequences. Lot, his wife, and his daughters packed up everything and they were moving to a distant and safer place, following those angels. But what happened is, while they were moving forward, Lot's wife wanted to take a last glance at the city where they have been living so far. So the poem is titled Lot's Wife. It is so sad that in Genesis chapter 19, we come across a lady like this, and her name is not mentioned. She is known as the wife of Lot. And in sermons, speeches, and writings, we often hear about this lady as an epitome of disobedience to God. and nobody feels any sympathy towards her. But this poem is written from a different perspective. The title itself gives us a glimpse that the writer, the poet, is sympathizing with Lot's wife. She is seen from a more earthly point of view. How an ordinary woman might have felt when she is forced to leave her native place all of a sudden. It is from that perspective Anna Akhmatova portrays Lot's wife here. So let us move into the poem. Lot's wife. The just man followed then his angel guide, where he strode on the black highway, hulking and bright. But a wild grief in his wife's bosom cried, "Look back, it's not too late for a last sight." The just man, Neediman I mentioned. So this is the label that's given to Lot. He was good-natured and obedient and exhibited much hospitality towards the angels. So the just man followed then his angel guide without questioning, without any ill feeling. He is following the angel who is guiding him to a distant and safer place. And the angel is portrayed as hulking and bright. Normally, angels are described using the word bright alone. But here, hulking is also mentioned to show that the poet is not totally sympathizing with the angel, or neither is the poet criticizing the angel. It's a neutral way of portraying an angel. But a wild grief in his wife's bosom cried. So an inexpressible, an inexplicable sorrow was welling up in Lot's wife's heart. And see the next verses. The following verses are given in italics to draw the attention of the reader to the mental state of Lot's wife. And we should try to step into her shoes and think how it feels like, how she might have felt then. With a crumbled heart, she is moving forward. And look back, it's not too late for a last sight. So, when you leave something that is very much dear to you, when you leave a place with which you have much of emotional attachment, it's really troubling you, right? For example, if you just bid farewell to your teachers who have taught you for more than 10 years, you will really feel bad when you leave them all, when you leave the school campus and all. Similarly, Lot's wife is also feeling such an unbearable sorrow when she is leaving a place towards which she had much emotional attachment. And she is taking a last look of the red towers of your native Sodom, the square where once you sang, the gardens you shall mourn, and the tall house with empty windows where you loved your husband and your babes were born. So this intensifies the pain of separation. See, she's being uprooted from her native place and she has to get transplanted in a totally new place. So of the red towers of your native Sodom, of all those monumental buildings and the open spaces where she and her children could move freely and they could sing and enjoy their happiness, and all the yards and gardens where they used to move about, and the tall house with empty windows. So as they are leaving the house seems to be so isolated and so silent, where you loved your husband and your babes were born. So from the from the day they got married, Lot's wife stepped into this particular house and she shared much of love with her husband there and gave birth to her children, and their umbilical cords might be buried somewhere around in the premises. So this is a deep-rooted relationship that she had with that native place and the place where their home stood. So it's really painful for a lady to quit a house where she has spent majority of her life, a major share of her life. See, a similar story is there, a short story titled Roots, written by the writer Ismat Chugtai. It's it's about, I mean, it's written at the backdrop of the partition of India. And when all the family members plan to quit their native place, the mother refuses to do so. And she is left all alone in the house. Because she says, I'm so very attached to this house and I cannot come from this place for same reasons. And finally, their loving neighbor who has much of understanding towards this old lady, he scolds all those children who went away and finally brings them back to this old mother. So that's a wonderful story that explains how a woman feels connected with her house and native place. So you have to read that story also. And now again the writer is switching from italics to normal font. She turned and looking on the bitter view. So what is the bitter view that she saw? God has sent his wrath upon the city and a rain of fire to demolish the city of Sodom. And she saw buildings getting collapsed and many of her familiar people, men and women, dying. So there was a storm and a rain of fire totally demolishing the city of Sodom, and that was a bitter view. Her eyes were welded shut by mortal pain. So she is experiencing that mortal pain. Any ordinary human being would have felt the same. So the writer is justifying her, or speaking on behalf of this lady. Any other woman would have felt the same, and it's not a big offense to feel bad when one's own native place is demolished. And she was transformed into a transparent salt. Into transparent salt her body grew. So even now if you visit Israel, there is a place called Mount Sodom, and there you can see a pillar of salt, and it's believed that this is Lot's wife. And her quick feet were rooted in the plain, and she was walking swiftly following those angels, but she took a quick glance at the city, and finally what happened? She became a pillar of salt and was rooted in the plain. She couldn't move anymore. She became an immovable pillar of salt, and that was the end of her life, a very tragic end. And in concluding, the poet says, who would waste tears upon her? The injustice and the forgetfulness that Lot and her children showed towards her. They were so practical. They thought they should follow the angels and they should not waste even a single moment grieving over their lost mother. Life has to go on. So is she not the least of her losses, this unhappy wife? So her loss is not even considered as a serious or a big one. Yet in my heart she will not be forgot, who for a single glance gave up her life. The author is empathizing with Lot's wife and says, I will never forget this character in the Bible. She consciously sacrificed her life just for a single glance at her native place. So towards the end of the poem, you find an identification with Lot's wife. So such lady characters are not elaborately dealt with in the Bible. Many of the stories are given just as an account of history. And what the writer like Anna Akhmatova and many other writers try to do is to cull out all those seemingly insignificant characters, and they give them a new a new significance by writing poems about them. I hope you enjoyed the poem. Thank you.